vitamin D. Over 40% of American adults are deficient in this one nutrient right now, and most of them have absolutely no idea. Not people who skip meals or live in poverty, office workers, gym goers, people who consider themselves healthy. Your body can only produce vitamin D one way, through direct sunlight hitting your bare skin, not through a window, not on a cloudy day. And the modern Western life, the early commute, the office all day, the late drive home, means millions of people go entire weeks without meaningful sun exposure. Vitamin D functions less like a vitamin and more like a hormone. It controls calcium absorption, immune response, muscle function, and mood regulation. Without enough of it, your bones quietly lose density. Over years, your immune system loses its edge and you get sick more often without understanding why. But the symptom that shocks most people is the mood connection. Low vitamin D is directly and consistently linked to depression, seasonal emotional flatness, and a persistent low energy that no amount of sleep fixes. If you have ever felt inexplicably heavy every winter, less motivated from October through March, that is not just the weather, that is biology. And vitamin D cannot do its job alone. Without another nutrient working alongside it, the calcium vitamin D helps you absorb gets directed to entirely the wrong place. That nutrient is next. Vitamin K2. Almost nobody talks about this one, and that is exactly why so many people are silently paying the price. K2 is the nutrient that tells calcium where to go inside your body. When vitamin D increases calcium absorption, K2 directs that calcium into your bones and teeth where it belongs. Without K2, that calcium does not go to your skeleton. It goes to your arteries and blood vessels. Over years, this contributes to arterial calcification, one of the primary drivers of cardiovascular disease in the Western world. You could be taking vitamin D, eating calcium-rich foods, exercising regularly, and still be quietly calcifying your arteries because K2 is missing. K2 is found in fermented foods like natto, certain aged cheeses, and eggs from pasture-raised chickens. None of these are staples of the average Western diet. This deficiency builds silently over decades, and its consequences show up as heart disease that doctors attribute to genetics or bad luck. And while these two are working against you, there's a third deficiency that makes both of them significantly worse: magnesium. Approximately 75% of Americans do not meet the daily recommended intake for magnesium, and the food system is a major reason why. Industrial farming and soil depletion have reduced the magnesium content of vegetables by up to 40% over the last 70 years. The spinach you buy today contains significantly less magnesium than the same vegetable contained a generation ago. On top of that, stress burns through magnesium at an accelerated rate. Every deadline, every difficult night, every cortisol spike depletes your reserves faster. This creates a cycle that is almost impossible to escape without understanding it. Low magnesium makes your nervous system more reactive, which increases stress, which depletes more magnesium, which worsens sleep, which raises cortisol further. If you wake up tired after a full night of sleep, if your muscles cramp at night, if your mind races when you try to rest, this cycle may be exactly what is happening inside you. And here is what changes everything about vitamin D supplementation. Magnesium is required to convert vitamin D into its active form. If your magnesium is low, vitamin D supplements may do almost nothing. Millions of people are taking vitamin D every day and wondering why they still feel depleted. This is why. If any of this sounds like you're normal, drop a comment below. Iron. This is the most common nutrient deficiency in the entire world, and it hits Western nations far more than most expect. Iron is the foundation of hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen from your lungs to every cell in your body. When iron is low, everything slows down. Your brain gets foggy, your muscles fatigue faster, and you feel cold constantly in your hands and feet because your body is rationing oxygen for vital organs. Up to 1 in 5 women of reproductive age in the US are iron deficient. But here's the trap that affects even people eating iron-rich foods every day. Coffee and tea contain tannins that block iron absorption by up to 80% when consumed within an hour of eating. Most people in Western countries drink coffee with every meal. They're eating iron and washing it away without realizing. Vitamin C. Most people assume they get enough of this one. They ate fruit recently. They take it when a cold starts. But vitamin C is not just an immune supplement. It is the raw material your body uses to build collagen, the structural protein holding your skin, joints, tendons, and blood vessels together. Without consistent vitamin C, your body cannot repair itself at the rate it breaks down. Wounds heal slowly, gums bleed, joints ache for reasons that seem unrelated to injury. You bruise more easily than you used to. These things happen gradually and separately, so most people never connect them to one missing nutrient. Because it is water soluble and cannot be stored, you need it every single day. One good meal a week does not maintain adequate levels. The damage is continuous and quiet, and most people do not notice it until something that should heal simply does not. Omega-3. For most of human history, the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in the human diet was roughly 1:1. In the average Western diet today, that ratio is closer to 20:1. Seed oils in processed food, fast food, and packaged snacks have flooded the modern diet with omega-6, and omega-3 has been systematically displaced. When omega-6 dominates, it drives chronic low-grade inflammation throughout your entire body. Persistent, silent inflammation that slowly damages your cardiovascular system, your joints, your gut, and your brain over decades. DHA, the primary omega-3 in fatty fish, is a structural component of your brain, essential for memory, mood regulation, and protecting against cognitive decline. Low DHA is consistently linked to depression, anxiety, and a significantly elevated risk of Alzheimer's later in life. Most people in Western countries eat fatty fish less than once a week and processed food multiple times every day. The inflammation builds silently, and most people spend years attributing the consequences to stress or simply getting old. Zinc. Zinc deficiency affects an estimated 1 billion people globally, including a significant number in developed nations, and it is almost never discussed. Zinc is required for immune function, wound healing, hormone production, and sensory perception. When zinc is low, you get sick more often and recover more slowly. One of the most overlooked symptoms is a gradual dulling of taste and smell. If food has started tasting flatter than it used to, zinc may be why. Most people simply adjust to the new baseline without realizing anything has changed. The biggest driver of zinc deficiency in Western diets is phytates, compounds in grains, bread, and breakfast cereals that bind to zinc in the gut and block its absorption. The Western diet is built on exactly these foods. You may be consuming zinc every day and absorbing very little of it. Vitamin B12. If you eat meat regularly, you likely assume B12 is not your problem. A significant number of meat eaters are wrong about this. B12 absorption depends on a protein called intrinsic factor produced by the stomach lining. As the body ages, stomach production of intrinsic factor declines, often beginning in the 30s. Acid reflux medications and metformin taken by tens of millions of people directly suppress its production, so you can eat animal products daily and still become progressively B12 deficient. B12 is essential for myelin, the protective sheath around your nerve fibers. Without it, nerves misfire, tingling and numbness develop in the hands and feet, memory slips, mood destabilizes. In prolonged cases, the neurological damage becomes irreversible. Because the liver stores B12 for years, symptoms often appear only after significant damage has already occurred. This is one of the most underdiagnosed deficiencies in adults over 40. If someone close to you has been experiencing unexplained memory changes or persistent numbness, B12 levels should be checked. Share this with them before more time passes. Folate. Most people associate this one only with pregnancy, and that association has created an enormous gap in public awareness. Folate is essential for DNA synthesis and cell repair, processes happening constantly throughout your body. When folate is low, cell division becomes error-prone, and red blood cells develop abnormally, producing an anemia that leaves you exhausted without obvious cause. But the consequence that receives almost no attention is the mental health impact. Folate is required for the synthesis of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Without adequate folate, these neurotransmitters cannot be produced at sufficient levels. Research consistently links folate deficiency to persistent low mood, reduced motivation, isolation, emotional flatness, and a weaker response to antidepressants in people already taking them. Alcohol depletes folate rapidly, and the average Western diet, heavy in processed food and light in leafy greens and legumes, is structurally folate poor. Many people living with low-grade depression and chronic fatigue have never had their folate levels checked. It is one of the simplest deficiencies to address and one of the most consistently missed